Alrighty, good morning ladies and gentlemen, this is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to Factorio. We are doing Bob's Angels and we have officially started on the Mega Base as of last episode. So as you can see, this is our starter base. This is the massive smelting thing that we've built up, and this is the actual main bus base where we've got all of our machines building stuff. And here is the actual mega base. So we've got carbon, which will be produced here. We've got the coal being delivered. We just need to actually build the machines. This will build carbon, and it'll build a sulfuric wastewater byproduct as well, because we're using the, what is it? The crushed coal to coke recipe that produces sulfuric wastewater. And we're only using that recipe. We're not using the straight crushed coal to coke that doesn't produce sulfuric wastewater, because we're going to need a bunch of it. And if somehow we produce too much sulfuric wastewater, we can always just clarify it, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We're pretty much good to go. We just all we need to do now is to actually get these machines being built, but we're not going to do that. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to fix sulfuric acid, because it's been slow as, and literally the only reason that this process is so slow is we don't have enough air filters. Guy's expecting 87 air per second, we're only giving it 33, so 2 more air filters should do it, and we'll see how we can squeeze these in here. It's a little bit squishy. We might put them up here, something like that. There we go, that's a bit better. And we'll get us some pipes. Pipes, another one of the many things that we need to get into the logistics network, so that we can actually get the bots to build it, because we've got, basically last episode all we did was just put down a buttload of ghost blueprints, and now we actually need, okay, go away, give me some power poles please. And it would definitely not be a bad idea, these things really annoy me, like you actually have to select the compressed air recipe. That's the only recipe that's ever in these things, and maybe like a lot later on you get a second recipe. I don't really know, I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of Bob's Angels, but for now there's only one recipe, but you still have to manually select it, which gets me every single time. Okay, so that's definitely going to be getting enough of this. 43, and this one requires 45 oxygen. Okay, so this process is pretty much going to be running at full speed, 45 per second, which is going to give us approximately 30 sulfuric acid per second, which is a decent amount. So that should start to fix crippling battery shortage. Where the hell are we making batteries? Yeah, because our batteries were just running at barely anything. So that should basically triple our battery output, which will triple our accumulator output, which was starting to look a little bit slack. And we've still got over 1,000 accumulators to lay down, so definitely important that we get that fixed up. But we've got it down now, so now, what's our Roboport coverage? It's not too bad. I could probably, do I have any Roboports in my inventory? Because I could just, because we need pipes, and we've already got a nice little pipe set up over here, so we could just chuck some red guys over there. Chuck some, oh, I do have Roboports, alright. I can't believe it, this stupid little wooden chest is getting in the way. Okay, this is going to take a while. Dump everything. Stupid chest. Okay, and Roboport. Let's actually just put that. Alright, beautiful. Then And instantly we got a bunch of robots picking this stuff up. Let's make that a bit bigger, and let's make that a little bit bigger. Oh, wait, sorry, this is supposed to be the, this is not supposed to be this one. This one is the one that's supposed to be. Okay. Mess that up for a second. We don't need gears in the situation. You know what? This thing is actually really annoying me. Input priority left. Okay. That'll sort that one out. And yeah, you should never do this on a main bus. You should never grab directly off the thing. You should always have it split off. I'm not sure if there's a really good reason for doing that, but that is annoying me right now. So we're going to do a little bit of stone brick. Not that I even use this path, like ever, like in any capacity, but I like having it neat and tidy. Alright, so we're going to do a few things this episode. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be updating our mall capability to produce basically all of the things that these guys need. Just because. And yeah, so let's get some water fill. I feel like this is a pretty safe spot to do this. And once again, we have to find these. I don't have any. And we'll make the water fill. Why have I got the caps lock on? I don't know. Why aren't I finding it? I don't. Oh, is it one of those stupid things that yeah, needs to be done in a red assembly machine? Yes, I remember now. And of course that requires steel, which I'm sure we have around here somewhere. At some point we are definitely going to need to get some logistics robots. Oh, we've already got 2 of these. Okay. Because yeah, having them, even if they just deliver me stuff like yeah, I don't know, like metals and stuff, like steel. It would be nice just to have 100 steel always in my inventory so I can just build things whenever I need it. And of course, when we get a more advanced mall, then we can start to actually request buildings and stuff like that. Not sure if we'll worry... we need to get that done at some point, but I'm not sure if I'm going to worry about it now. Okay, so we need these guys automated as well. Gears and pipes. Yeah, so this is where we start to enter spaghetti territory. And we could sort of mitigate that a little bit, but to be honest, I mean, yeah. These kind of things. I'd like to say they always end up, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't always end up in spaghetti territory, but then again, when you have Bob's inserters, you can kind of get away with it. And where you can get away with it, you kind of want to get away with it. Alright. So that's that stuff done. Clarifier, what do they take? See, this is where it's, yeah. So we get away with that one. But I think we might want to start setting up a new line and just have it be a little bit more solid. Like this line we set up is nice and solid. And we can actually probably extend this line for the clarifier. Yeah. I mean, basic circuit boards. We've got stone brick, iron plate. Yeah, okay, here's what we do. we're going to put stone brick on this side. And need to clear off this side of the belt, but yeah. We'll still leave a full iron on that side, but yeah, for this side. And then what else do we need for the clarifiers? Just iron pipes. Okay. It's always steel, isn't it? It's always... No, it's actually green circuits this time. Okay. Let's just craft a whole buttload of them. And of course we're out of Roboport range. So let's whack down another one of these. Nicely in between the belts. Yeah, this is another thing that... The only problem with logistics robots, and the reason I haven't built them yet, is because they need, whatchamacallit? They need their own special tool. Like, over here we're building the brain, which both bots use, but over here we're building a special tool. So this is a construction robot tool. So to build a logistics robot, you need a logistics robot tool, which is annoying. Which is why I haven't done it so far. That's pretty much the only reason. But at some point we're going to need to bite that bullet. So, all right, stone brick. So I need you to be long. Okay, that gives us the clarifier, and this is kind of just okay. So here we start getting to the steel and the brick. So I think these guys I'm just going to make manually because Hydro Plant 2, we're not going to need too many of them, hopefully, and they're a bit more difficult to make. And clay brick is all the way over here. I'm not sure I really want to put it on the bus. How the hell did that happen? I'm not sure, but that probably shouldn't be happening. That happened. It must have just been an artifact of when we first built this thing. Basic circuits. And of course steel. At least steel is looking a bit healthier. Steel was looking very, very unhealthy for a while, but now it's looking a lot better. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more. We need green circuits. There we go. Now here's a trick you can do. You can set this to be 0 and 0. And if we had logistics robots, they would take it out, they would put it in a storage chest, and then the construction robots would pick it up and actually place it. And you just set that in your inventory, and then everything just automatically works. Of course, since we don't have logistics robots, that won't work, but okay, so this stuff should be sorting itself out. That should be sorting itself out. Pipes, pipes, pipes. What else? Liquefiers, boilers are another thing that I think we can just manually create. I don't think we're going to need a lot of those. 9. Oh, look at that. We can make 9. Beautiful. And look at... Ooh. Got 7 in there. I didn't realize we had those. Handcrafting is taking a little while, but that's okay. And what did we say? So the crushers and the liquefiers we definitely want to automate, because the crushers we're going to need all over the place. These guys. So the... No, it's so annoying. I need stone. Please. I'm pretty sure I got stone on... I do have stone on the bus. Okay. Okay. It is annoying, though. Anytime you need stone for anything, it's just like... Ew. I'm not sure what we're going to put on the other side, but we're definitely going to put something on the other side. Right. Wait, is that what I'm supposed to be building? I'm lost. Yes. Stone furnace, stone, and iron gear wheels. Okay, we'll send up another iron here. And then this one will be the actual one. And you require iron gear wheels. And you require iron plate and iron gear wheels. Yeah, this is annoying. Somewhat. Okay, here's what we can do. We can just do that. It's going to be a little bit slow on producing the old iron gear wheels, but it doesn't really matter for this sort of application if it's a bit slow. Okay. So you need gears. Pick up tile position. There we go. Job done. Stone brick and iron. And you're done. Oh, you need stone as well. Okay. You're done. 2 stacks. Jesus, that's slow. 5-second craft time. And these are 0.5. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we've got the ore crushers done. Now we just need the liquefier. And that's surprisingly similar. Is that exactly the same as the clarifier? I think it is. I think the liquefier and the clarifier just take exactly the same ingredients. Alright. So what we can do here is long. Shift L. Power poles, please. And we can whack those hydro plants right in here. And the bots are already picking them up. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And give me those power poles, please. Alright. And you are going to be my level 1 liquefiers. I don't think we really need to worry about level 2. Well, I mean, we're not using level 2s for them yet, so it's not really an issue. There we go. Done. Come on. Alright, got all 5 of those picked up. Beautiful. And where's our boilers? Where's our boiler 2s? Or we just jump them in the orange section and they'll still get picked up. Okay. Oh, I hate those arrows down the bottom that block this stuff. Alright. Come on, arrows. There we go. Alright, so all we need now are liquefiers, and then we got our solar and our accumulators, which is beautiful. So that is all going to get built now. We don't need to worry about any of this stuff. It's all going to get done, and soon we'll be seeing some actual carbon going into these stations and some sulfuric acid. So, do we actually have tanks? We need liquid storage tanks. 100%. I don't think I'm making them yet. Alright. Let's have a look at what we need for liquid storage tanks. Iron and steel. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna jank them in here, pick up tile position. Alright. So, let's grab a few of those over, and we're going to have to do some stuff to manage the sulfuric wastewater here. Yep. Alright. So this is where we're going to start actually designing. Well, first of all, I'm going to have a nice big cache here, just because. And now we need to start designing our stations. And we haven't done a fluid station yet, so we're going to have to give that a crack. So we're going to start off with a station load here, and it's going to be for a fluid, sulfuric wastewater. Alright, whoops, pressing the wrong button. I should probably know what the buttons do at this stage, but clearly I don't. Alright. So everything here we can keep. Kind of. This C is going to be irrelevant. We're going to need an F, actually. Where's my little radar that's piping all of the signal goodness into the system? I feel like I put it around here somewhere. It's kind of not a good idea to lose that. Here it is. Here it is. All right. So C is 40. So 40 stacks for the current cargo. And the reason we're doing this is because the cargo wagons actually get better. So Railway 3, our biggest one, has storage size of 80. And the one we've currently got is 40. And then we've got another railway around here somewhere. I'm losing track of it. I can't tell. Oh, we've already got them researched. They do 60, but yeah, that requires Invar, which we don't have access to yet. We could probably get Invar and then jump straight to Cargo Wagon Mark IIs, but I mean, we're still using yellow inserters to load the train, so I really don't think that's necessary. But anyway, we're going to have fluid wagons. This one does 100k, and our current fluid wagon does 50k. Okay, so let's do another variable, 50,000. Okay. Now let's go over to our station, and I think we already automated all these, the production of these little combinators and stuff. Yeah, they seem to be pushing through. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and the multiplication by 1 and outputting, that's just to sort of make sure the signal's only going in one direction, so we're not accidentally feeding stuff back onto this pole that we don't actually want to. Oh, we got some crushed coal coming out. Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to start seeing some actual stuff being processed. We're going to start seeing these fill up when they actually get placed pretty soon. Okay. I don't know where that 200 came from. Sulfuric wastewater. We don't actually need this one because we don't have stacks. We just got fluid. So this one is going to be divided by F. That's how many trains we can do. And then multiply by 1L, and then the rest is the same. Now the tricky bit here is so this requires Invar as well, so we don't really have that. This one I like. It's a bit too big. Unfortunate. Petrochem, oil. This one is nice. I like this one. Okay, what does that take? Steel, clay, and steel pipe. I think this is worth getting the clay bricks out, because what the hell is this? That's too big again. Because this is 150k. So we get 2 of these. Boom. Boom. That gives us 300k storage. Which I like. Because right now that's 6 trains worth. And I like having 6 trains worth because it puts it approximately on the same ratio. Like 40 times 6 is 240. So that's 6 trains worth. So this will be 6 trains worth as well. And then we just need a pump. I'm only going to use one pump. Does 600 per second. Okay, that's kind of shit. That's really kind of shit. I was hoping for a lot more than that. Because the next one goes up to 1200. So 600 per second. For 50k, that's almost 100 seconds. That's a long time. Having said that, these guys are currently doing about 10 per second. And these trains contain, what is it? Thousands? 10 per second, and they can contain thousands. So it's kind of, you know what? We're just going to do one pump. We're just going to do one pump, and over time this will get better and better and better. Let's actually have a look at our pump. Fluid handling 4. 2400 is still not great, to be honest. I feel like now is the time where we sort of... Yeah. Let's just go for it. Let's just do this. 3 pumps, and that's going to be nice and fast because, again, we're going to expand to like 8 inserters and they're going to be super fast and blah, blah, blah. And we can actually upgrade inserter capability, inserter capacity to a huge amount later on, so the inserters could just carry like 50 items at a time or something like that. But these guys, we got basically no options to upgrade them, so we're going to have to do it right from the start, which is what we're going to do. So, okay, I'm relatively happy with this, and then we put an underground there, and then we need to join both of these to the power pole and then up to here, and that's got to put in our sulfuric wastewater. We divide it by F, and hopefully that's going to be good. That's just going to be good enough. And we're not... I want to set the priority of this up to 90 because it's technically a byproduct, but I want to create the blueprint for this station first. So we're going to... Technically we could create the blueprint now, even though everything's a ghost, but I kind of want to wait for it to be working first. We've got a bit of sulfuric wastewater in there, which is nice. A bit of these guys coming out. Once all the liquefiers comes out, then it should be enough. But yeah, got some carbon being put in the silo. Very, very nice. All right, so pumps and petrochem oil tankers. Copper. What the hell is a copper pipe? Who the hell uses copper pipes? All right, petrochem oil tank. That's going to be a little bit annoying because it requires clay. Those clay bricks. We might just be able to build it over here. I mean, what does it take again? Steel and steel pipes. Yeah. Alright. And drop, pick up. This is steel pipes. Pick up, drop, and give me that petrochem oil tank. And of course you're not in the logistics range, but we can. You know what? I'm just going to extend the logistics range. Whatever. Give me some more robot pods, please. Thank you. 2 of these, and then you pick up from there. Alright, there's our petrochem oil tanks, and these annoying little things. Copper pipe, steel plate, and engine units. Really? It takes engine units. Okay, well I guess we're building it over here, where we have engine units. Because we don't really have engine units over here. Why did I... Oh, that was just for steel. Okay. So, copper pipe and steel plate. Okay, we can make that work. pick up. Give me some copper pipe. And what are we doing? Pumps. In case you're wondering, we are going to build a proper mall later on, but it's going to be a mall that's seeded entirely from the mega base, and yeah, it's going to be a lot better. Okay, so you go there, and this will get us the steel, and it will get us the engines. What the hell am I doing here? Okay, we definitely don't need that to be so crazy. That's just nuts. All right. And we'll do it like this. We don't need that many pumps. Okay, pumps done. All right, let's go back to designing. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So we've got this station done. I want to see the actual thing light up with a train limit based on how much is in here. What we are going to do is okay, we'll do it like that, and then we need another pump over here. Yeah, it's okay just to have one pump here because we can just slowly fill these up when the train's not here. It should, hopefully one pump should be enough, but we can always expand it, and we'll actually leave some room for expansion. Maybe we'll just put 3 here. Why not? Why not just put 3 there? Alright. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we're going to wait and we're going to see how that one comes out. There's one belt, actually, one belt should be enough to fuel all these guys, right? I mean, I would have thought it. Did I, like, vastly underestimate how much fuel these boilers go through to produce steam? I mean, we could reroute carbon over there if we really wanted to instead. I think carbon is a more efficient... I'm not sure if it's more efficient. Maybe it is, I can't remember. Let's have a quick look. Coke is 2.5 megajoules. Carbon is 3. Yeah, carbon is definitely more efficient. Okay. Alright, let's use carbon then. No, I'm going to cancel all that. I'm going to cancel all that because I literally said this last episode. I said that if we use carbon as a fuel source, then we can potentially deadlock this entire system, and that's why we decided to use coke. Because if we use coke, then the system spins up. If we use carbon, then you need steam to produce carbon. It becomes like a catch-22. So that's why we didn't want to do that. Alright. Here's what we're actually going to do, because I really need to... Ooh, Crintinium. No, we already got Crintinium up here. I think once you got one patch, you don't really need another patch too much. What I really need to do here is we need to start building these guys out. Can't build that one yet, but straight T intersection here and here and here, and then we're going to have the stations here, here, and here. And yeah, basically I'm going to give something for the bots to do in the background because, yeah, by the time we actually need these stations, I don't want to be waiting for them to be built. So I want to start building them now. And the bots don't have a lot to do at the moment, so it'll be a good chance for them to actually stretch their legs. Okay, T and a T, and then the other T is off the map. This Rubite, we don't technically care about. So I don't feel good about building over it, but I think I'm going to build over it anyway. And then and yeah, okay. So that'll give the robots a lot to do. And of course my stupid little robots have already decided that they were in range because this mod is very slightly broken. Is that actually the amount we have left, or is that just broken? That's broken. Yeah, that alert things. Usually it hits around 3k. I thought for a sec, wow, they've actually done a lot, but no. Let's have a look at our power. That's not too bad. All right, let's go ahead. Let's create ourselves an accumulator and let's start turning off our coal-based power. And let's use the path to get over there. So yeah, we can turn that off. And there's a very neat little latch circuit that you can use to turn it off, which is very cool, which I like using. So I'm going to show you how that works. Once we get over there, which will take a while, but yeah. Looks like everything's done, or about to be done, or ready to be built. They just got to fix these stupid belt changes up, which is apparently blocking up the entire system because these aren't being fueled, but yeah, it's beautiful. We got all this done. We just need one power pole here, and then we're good to go. And then we'll start to see the sulfuric acid, no, the sulfuric wastewater, apologies, actually start going through. And we're still using basically no stereotype. Stereotype, I mean, is just absolutely terrible. Alrighty. Okay. So, usually I like to have a lot of redundant power connections. In this case, we're actually not going to. Give me a power switch. Now, there's multiple ways to turn this off. But so you can either turn off the pumps, you can stop the coal going through. They all have their own merits, but I like a power switch. I do like turning off the pumps as well, but the pumps. Okay, accumulator right here, and make sure the accumulator is on this side. Disconnect it. As you can see, we're producing 119 and we're not using any because these are all just burner inserters, so that is beautiful. Now, where's my power switch? Where's my copper wire? So there we go. You can see when we turn it on, we got this, and when we turn it off, the solar is just completely by itself. It still remembers that it had a little bit of that, but yeah. Alright, so here's the way we do a latch. And we just need a little bit, we need one coal here. And, alright. So if there's a coal, we're going to turn the switch on when coal equals to 1. So, now we hook these guys So this is the bad state. This is where our system is falling over. So basically we're reading the charge level, and this guy, we enable that if A is less than 20. So in other words, if the accumulator of the entire system is less than 20%, we yank this coal out and we put it in here. Then if A is more than 80, we yank it back out. So basically, if our accumulators get below 20%, we yank the coal out, we put it in here, this turns the power switch on, and the steam comes back in and helps out the system. And as soon as our accumulators are over 80%, we yank the coal back out and we disconnect the steam again. And it's a beautiful system, because if you don't have this latch, then this power switch just cycles at like 50 times a second or something like that, because you're just checking whether the accumulator is less than 20 or something. It does really weird. It looks a little bit silly if you just enable this based on the A signal. So you have to have a latch to actually make sure that it works a little bit nicer. So yeah. Now we might actually see. So accumulators are pretty much full. They're starting to get drained a little bit. They're starting to get drained even in the middle of the day. That's probably not a good sign. It's all those row reports. It's all that new stuff that we just built. So we will definitely see, and especially when it hits night, we will definitely see the steam come back online and save our butts. But yeah, for now, we're producing about 125 megawatts of solar, and we're using a little bit more than that sometimes, but it's not, maybe we won't actually, maybe we'll be okay, because our power amount for the robots is not too bad. Probably because we don't have enough robots. We got a decent amount, we got 1,000, but we could probably do with a bit more. Let's see here. Let's up that to 2,000. Because, yeah, with this much expansion, I really feel like 2,000 would be better. And our solar farm is about 50% complete. So, and we're still producing solar panels at a decent rate. Although not many bots are picking them up. Probably because the bots are too busy building all those new rail networks I did. Anyway, let's get back to here. So these are full, 300k total. Train limit is 6. Alright, that's beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. Alright, let's go ahead and create a new blueprint. Get rid of that rail because we don't need it. Fluid train load. Happy with everything here. We've got our common power pole, which is great. Parameterize. Oh, I gotta remember how to do this again. Alright, so we definitely want that to be a parameter. Fluid. L is fine, F is fine. That we don't need to change. That we don't need to change. That we don't need to change. So all we need is the fluid. Because there's a load station, right? Load stations don't need. Yeah. Like this one, the only had it is the ingredient. And then for the unload station, it had the required amount, stack size, which we're going to need for the unload station as well for the fluid one. But anyway, so we need to change the icon of this. And what do we want this to be? A fluid tank. How's that look? Oh, we still need an L. That looks kind of crowded, but You know what? I'm going to reverse these. We're going to make this an L, and then we're going to make this a fluid tank. We could update these as well to have like a chest or something like that. You know what? I think I will. I think I will. Just a good old iron chest. Just so you can tell a little bit easier what's going on. There we go. You look directly at the icon and just see exactly what you need to do. All right. So, fluid train load. And it's going to be loading waste, sulfuric or wastewater. Whoop. Press the escape key again. But yeah, it hooks onto this common power pole, which is part of our rail station blueprint, which automatically has all the red and green wires going to a nice little radar. So that's how our network is set up. And yeah. This guy's already pretty high. And the carbon, I mean, this coke does struggle to get to the end of it, but so that means these two are, although it's still got 3.5k, these guys are at 8k. I do like to constrain these a little bit, especially since we've got 3 stations. So that's, okay, that's 3. That's going to be 3 for each. You know what? I'm not going to do that. It's one of those things where I'll do it now, and then by the time we get to the bigger train stations, I'll forget. And then I'll be like, why have we got so little carbon in the system? This is insane. Plus, it's just burning coal. I mean, it's literally just coal. It's not like something that I'm super worried about. We got 18 million coal here, so if it burns a bit more, then that's fine. All right, so we've got to a fairly good spot. We've done a bunch of different things. Now I think our next major thing is going to be the sulfuric acid station. And then after sulfuric acid, we'll go on to the mineral catalyst, and then after that we'll start actually producing the ores. And we'll start actually making the ores, like this will be a few ores, this will be a few ores over here. And then we're up here, we can start making the actual plates, or we can start making the plates the next level up. I'm not really sure. But damn, we got a lot of ore here. Like literally, I mean, like this stereotype, once we start tapping the infinite section in the middle, that's all we're going to need for the entire base, is my guess. We're going to have end game modules and prod modules and all sorts of stuff. We may need to tap another thing to get by before we get to the end game, but once we get like infinite mining, then I think we should be okay. But yeah, we can start to work on the sulfuric mines. Let's get... Where's my depot? Okay, so these three are my depots. They're for trains that are just waiting, don't have anything better to do. And this is my refueling station. All right. Let's put a few trains there. Put a few trains there. And these are going to be sulfuric wastewater trains. And we're going to build sulfuric wastewater here because we're saving this one for mineral catalyst because it can use these thermal water later on when we unlock the recipe. And this should be fine. This should be fine. All right. Let's get stuck into it. Let's start with a station unload. And we're going to start with fluid wastewater, sulfuric wastewater, stack size, we're going to say 200,000. Now obviously that's not the actual, it is the amount that we want. We're going to have to do some stuff here. So we're basically just going to copy and paste this entire thing. Oh yeah, okay. Needs to go down a few spaces. And we need this. Go away. Usually I clear trees before I do any of this, but thankfully when you cut and paste stuff, it doesn't... It still maintains its wire connections, which is really nice. Okay, now we can do this. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Beautiful. Connect to that. Now this one is the stack size, which we don't need. This one is S minus, so we can just hook this directly up to... Might as well hook it up to that power pole there. Hook that directly to that, so that's now 200k minus whatever's in these tanks. And we might be good for the rest of it. We still need to switch this over to F. And then divided by that. L, switch that back over. All right. I think this might be a good one. I think this might be a good station. And it can fit, well, it can't quite fit over. Yeah. The reason I haven't cleared the trees is the same reason I got rid of the stone bricks in the middle, because we just don't have the bot capability to handle it at the moment. Like, trees are just too much. I mean, what we can do is we are actually building a station here, so I might get rid of these trees. Move them out of the way. Give us a little bit of better building room, but normally I would just say voom, delete all the trees, but the bots would struggle to handle that. And we got to remember, I'm only doing 2 hours a week and I'm not playing offline at all. So our time in these streams is very precious and we cannot afford to sit there waiting for bots to do stuff. So yeah, we're getting some decent bots though. We're up to 1,300 already on our way to 2,000. So anyway, let's double check what the process is for sulfuric wastewater. I'm doing it over here. All right. So we convert it to sulfur and we have a bunch of water that we pretty much throw away. We need some oxygen to convert it to sulfur dioxide gas. Oxygen is easy to create. And then we convert it over to sulfuric acid using purified water. So we'd probably reuse some of the purified water. We'd have a system where we'd keep some of it if we can. And I also want to have a system that has an unload station for sulfur dioxide, because of course we know that lead processing produces sulfur dioxide as a byproduct. So I want the station that produces sulfuric acid to be able to take in sulfur dioxide so it can use it. Because I don't know, I don't reckon the sulfuric wastewater is going to be enough. Maybe it will be, I'm not sure, but anyway. Okay. Okay, I was a bit confused there, but this is coal and this is carbon. They're two different things, even though their icons look almost identical. So all we do here is load, unload, empty cargo. And we've got a refuel interrupt and a depot interrupt. Refuel basically just goes to the refuel station and refuels. We're going to have to update this when we change fuel types, but for now it's fine. And depot just says if you're empty and your destination is full, go to the depot. This is just to make sure that these trains don't sit at unload stations when they're empty because the load station is full. Which can be quite annoying. I'm more than happy for them to sit at a load station when they're full and just sit there forever, but when they've been unloaded, I want them to move on. Okay, so you are going to be for the wastewater group, sulfuric wastewater, and you can go off and do your thing. Sulfuric wastewater, you can go off and do your thing, and you are also going to be sulfuric wastewater, but you have to wait because you haven't got a wagon yet. So there we go. Yeah, we're definitely backed up on sulfuric wastewater here. That's okay. That still seems a little bit slow, but then again, it's at the start of the game. We're not using. We're still using these pumps. It's going to be. Let's put it this way. At the end of the game, we're going to have wagons twice as big and pumps 4 times as fast. So it's going to be twice as fast as this to load it, which is still kind of slow. But then again, you know, we are sending a lot of wastewater over, so that's okay. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, there isn't. We haven't got this pipe yet, so there isn't anything in here. We're going to have to add some clarifying here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really? That's the only place you can put it? Okay. Let's put it down here, actually. That's a bit nicer. So if you are wastewater is greater than 24,000, then you get clarified. And this guy probably needs a power pole as well. Alright. Done. So that'll take care of this, because this is just a disaster waiting to happen. We've started pumping a bunch of it into here, but this will eventually get backed up. So yeah, so we will start throwing away some of the sulfuric wastewater. These guys are waiting on power poles to unload, but we can see it is 2 out of 4. Because we want 200k instead of 300k, so that's why it's 2 out of 4. And we got another train right here waiting, and then our third train still doesn't have its wagon because the bots are busy building the mega base. They're too busy building the mega base to actually build my train, which is fine. I'll forgive them for that. Yeah, okay. Now, the unfortunate part of building with liquids is it's very hard to build the correct ratio of stuff. Like here, you've got a belt, you can say, okay, the belt has 15 items per second. I'm going to build to process 15 items per second. When it comes to fluids, it's a little bit more difficult. We could say that these produce 18.7, and there's 40 of them, so 40 times 20 is 800 per second. We could say that is not a bad place to do it. Alright, we're going to hit these up again. So you are doing 150. So I feel like 4 of these is going to be fine. 4 of these seems like a good place to be. And again, we're going to have to manually build these. Maybe we could start to automate them, but then again, look, after this station, you know what? We're going to use purified water all over the place. I think it's probably a good idea to just do it. Okay. The mineralized water, we're just going to clarify. We could potentially use it later on for some stuff, but This is going to be 30, 30, 30, 30. And it does 160. You know what? That looks like a very nice blueprint for me to just steal. Is it stealing if I made the other blueprint as well? I don't think it is. Because I didn't steal the power poles for it, but that's quite alright. Okay. So that gives us... okay, the problem with stealing that blueprint is it didn't include any way of getting... Anyway, we're just producing 6, I think. Yeah, 6 sulfur per second. So that should be enough. And what was the next step? Oh yeah, okay. So 6 per second, so we need 8 of these liquefiers. 8 liquefiers, which means, yeah, so let's get the liquefiers down first. One more, please. That's annoying. Alright, and then that one just spits out a gas. Okay. Alright, so that just takes care of that. It's probably way too many power poles, so let's get rid of some of them. And now we need 45 times 8, which is 360, I believe. Yep, 360. And 360 oxygen per second. It's not too bad. Ooh, we're gonna need a lot of these. Can we make chem plant 2s? Can I? Why are you trying to insert wood in my inventory? You dumb remote map building stuff when you shouldn't be map building stuff with bots. Let's get rid of this. So much crud in my inventory. Look at it, we got plants and trees and ore and all of this stuff. We just don't need it. And do I really need 400 of this? I really don't know. Let's have a look actually. We can build advanced chemical plants. They require bronze. This one, okay, so this is 1.75 and this is only 1.5. Okay, well that's useless. Look, 1.75 to 2.25 is not really worth going to the next level of chemical plants, so we're just going to keep using these same ones. It's going to be quite painful, but then again, we could just build it up here. Or we can build it over here, actually. I'll build it over here, just completely outside. So what did we say? We needed 360 oxygen. Alright. You are going to build me 360 oxygen. I need to get the calculator out. Need to get the calculator out. I mean, what is this? So this can do... Yeah, it's like 50 times 1.75 divided by 2 is 43.75. So 360 divided by 43.75 is 9. Actually, that's not too bad. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Power pole there, and then and that worked. Beautiful. Hook that up over there. I don't believe I've got chemical plants going, but alright, so 87.5 times 9 is 787. And you are doing 33. Okay. So 33.3. That's 24 air filters we need. Okay. 2, 3, 4. 4, 8, 12, 24. Alrighty. So that takes care of that, which takes care of that. We need a flare stack for the nitrogen. Now this guy will produce 360 per second. If we have a look down here, it does 200. Okay, it does 200 per second. And we have 360, so 2 flare stacks will be fine, and they're both powered. Alright. I don't like the fact that that doesn't quite reach. Alright. We are done. That is our sulfur dioxide. And let's go ahead and actually create an unload station for fluids, a proper parameterized one, because we can just grab this. Alright. Get rid of that. Parameterize that, which is going to be fluid, and parameterize this, which is going to be amount. I believe that's it. We just put the fluid up there and we put the amount there. Wait a sec. Cancel that. What am I doing here? Okay, so there's a signal S, but there's also a value. I believe we parameterize the value, but we don't parameterize the actual S. I believe that's the right way to do it. And then this is going to be... You probably shouldn't worry about the unload fluid tank. Yes. Save blueprint. All right, let's go ahead and put this one here. And we're going to say that we want dioxide, sulfur dioxide gas, the amount of 200k. And I pressed escape again. I always do that. I always want to deselect the current thing, so I press escape. Okay, well, we'll see how that comes out when it comes out. I don't want to just hook them up because I don't want the sulfur dioxide that we produce here to be backfilled into these tanks. I want these tanks free for use for an actual train. In which case we're going to need a few pumps. Might as well get 4, why not? And then we're going to get a couple of these. And this one, this particular tank I'm okay with being filled up here. Yeah. I definitely want to prioritize using the trains over using the wastewater. Because this is kind of a byproduct. So we definitely want to use this byproduct over using this byproduct. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put some circuit conditions on here. So this is going to be enable, disable if dioxide is less than 100,000. Okay, so that way if a train comes in with a bunch of sulfur dioxide, we're going to pump it in from the train and then these guys are going to shut off, which is beautiful. Alright. We also need to remember that we do have some purified water over here. Alright, and then the final stage, I think the final stage uses chemical plants again, doesn't it? To make, yes it does, sulfuric acid. So it's all fluids at this point. Get a power pole there. Join that up, very nice. And then well, let's have a look. How much? We're producing 45 per second. This one uses 78. So 45 times 8, I think we said it was 360. 360 divided by 78 point, I think it's 78.05. Alright, so we only need 5. I'm going to make 8 anyway, because we might be getting some more stuff from the train. Now these guys use 35 times 8, which is 280. And these guys produce 400. Okay. So this is pretty sweet. But then again, we are going to... Then again, if we're taking off the train, we're not actually processing this, and we're not creating the hydro plant. So we kind of need... We need to be able to clarify the purified water, but you also may need to produce more in certain circumstances. Can I just hook these guys directly up to a thing? Because that would be helpful. Enable, disable if water is greater than 140,000. Okay. Oops. It was already hooked up. Alright, so if it's greater than 140,000, then we throw it away. And I'm also going to have 2 more guys, but these guys are going to be purely just making it out of the water. I believe I've lined that up correctly. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then obviously we need a clarifier here. There's probably too much purified water, but whatever. Okay. And then okay. And we're going to have a little chain of these guys, and we're going to hook. Oh, that's a bit too far, isn't it? Alright, so you are only going to work if the purified water is less than 20,000. Okay, beautiful. That should be done then. That should be all good. So let's have a look here. We're missing 6 of these, and we're missing some others. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we aren't building in our little logistics mall. And a whole bunch of stuff that probably needs this. Let's go ahead and just... How much clay bricks are we actually making? 2 per... You know what? Should I put that on the bus? On the actual main bus? I feel like it's probably... I feel like it's probably time. Let's just do it, and then we can say it's done. There's not going to be much of it on the bus, but we're going to do this. So that we get it on both sides. What the hell? I'm starting a new gap. Starting a new gap. And running right into a roboport, but that's fine. Alright, so this is... Let's have a look at what we need to make here. Alright, let's start off with the easy ones. Air filters. We're not getting air filter 2s. I mean, they're probably a bit more efficient in terms of power, but... What are they? 1.5. So more efficient in terms of power, but not that much more efficient. Alright, air filter 1s. Let's have a look. So that's all pretty simple, straightforward stuff. I like these recipes. We can just actually make this here. That's it. Robots. We already got the pipes. Might as well just make it here. And I'm guessing chemical plants as well. So you are Shift L, you are Shift L. You need a power pole. Always running out of power poles. That's everything you need. That's beautiful. And let's have a look at chemical plants. Again, we already got everything we need here. Let's not build a million of these things. Thank you very much. Okay. Ah, they need gears. That's alright, we can do this here. And drop, pick up. Actually, what we could do... Now these are steel gear wheels. Ah, but these are... here's what we're going to do. This is genius. Near drop. Beautiful. Alright. Don't need you anymore. Alright, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that takes care of the chemical plants. And flare stacks. The last thing we need, well, Again, another extremely easy recipe that just uses these ingredients. I just put 4 inserters down, double, bam, 2 of them, and we're starting to run very low on the pipes, not producing as many pipes, but they'll all get done eventually. Pick up, done. Yeah, eventually. Once the chemical plant and the air filters are all happy, then we'll get enough pipes. How are we doing with these pipes? Could we be making them faster? I mean, we could do this. That makes it a little bit faster. Alright. Makes me a little bit happier. Constrain that to 1 chest, please. We do not want any runaway situations where we're building massive amounts of things that we don't need. And then low on roboports, apparently. Well, that's from all the new rail stations that we're building. Each one of these new blocks takes 4 roboports, so they definitely do add up very quickly. But the good thing about this is each station comes with a radar, so it's going to start scanning and it's going to give us more room to start spreading out and actually building the rest of these. So I should be able to start building the 3rd station over here. In case it's not completely clear, I'm going to have blocks like these. And over there, this one's going to be upset up by 2 tiles. And then the next one over the side is going to be upset by 2 tiles. That means that we need... Everything is basically going to be T-intersections. We're going to have very few of these cross intersections. And T-intersections are definitely a little bit better for throughput. There's less trains use them because obviously, you know, it's not a 4-way. Actually, I'm not sure if less trains use them, but it's less complicated to just have a T-intersection everywhere. Definitely less complicated. But anyway, so I don't think we might have time for the mineral catalyst this episode. Alright, let's go ahead and let's start making... I know I keep saying I don't want to make these. Hydro plant, like clay, and I kind of feel like I do though. Like part of me just wants to make it. You know what? We're just gonna make it because I've said that I don't want to make it, and then I've said that I want to make it, and I'm kind of just all over the place at this point. So we're just gonna make it using this horrible main bus, which I definitely should have split up better. And there we go. There we go. There are our clay bricks on the bus. You are level 1, you are level 2. What do you take? Pipes. Our pipes are all the way over there. But our building that makes them is all the way over here. Oh, we can't quite. We don't have the required level of research to do what I want to do, but that's still enough. That's still enough. Alright. Stone bricks. Iron plate. And this needs to be moved slightly so that we can do this and we can make it bigger. And we'll do that there. Now, steel pipes. I was making steel gears somewhere right here, but I'm not making steel pipes. So let's just make those right here. Then we need steel, clay bricks, and green circuits. Pick up. Alright, beautiful. There are hydro plant number 2s. Yes, there are. This one is Seriously? 48 iron pipes for one of these guys is insane. And these guys, yeah, I got a similar... Alright, we're definitely just doing one slot of these guys, because these guys take forever. And they take a lot of resources. Okay. Everything's being done slowly, but it's being done. Okay, you need a little bit more love there. And then we just need... Now, how much are we actually producing? Could we... I think one station is enough. Fluid train load. I think one is enough. And that's going to be sulfuric acid. And we'll just use the train station cache as the main cache. I don't think we'll build another cache because this is not like this is a primary thing that we're producing. This entire station is just for sulfuric acid. This one we had a secondary cache over here because it's a byproduct. Technically it's a byproduct, it's not the main product. So that's why we have an extra cache over here in addition to this one. But yeah, we're definitely throwing some of it away. And we're not backed up on it. We're not actually backed up on it. These guys just aren't. They should be producing. We're not getting enough coal out. Look at this. The throughput problem is the inserters. Our inserters are just too shit. That's one of the things I actually wanted to handle. We can get fast bulk inserters, and we can get fast inserters, but they both require bronze. We are making bronze at a very limited quantity, but it is automated. So we could actually put that on the bus, just because for the purposes of getting those inserters to be a little bit nicer. Because I think our train system, that's like a massive, it's an unbelievably massive problem for the throughput of our train system. It's, yeah, you don't even know how bad it is. It's terrible. So we jump straight from these guys to these guys. Twice the rotation speed, twice the hand size. That's going to multiply it by 4, which is going to be great. And I actually need to pick up belts. And a bunch of these, and a couple of these. And look at my inventory. It's full of crap, but it's not full of the stuff I want. No. No. I might actually just cross over these guys. Yeah. Cross over this one as well. Duck down here. Now, where are we making the bronze? Right here. And you're going to be a near inserter. There we go. We got bronze on the bus. Now we can go back, we can make those nice inserters, and we can upgrade all of our train stations with them. And we can actually upgrade blueprints, which is one thing that I didn't actually realize you could do until very recently, is you can actually use an upgrade plan on a blueprint. I've never done it before, but I'll give it a try this episode and see how it goes. It's just one of those fancy things you can do. Let's have a look. Thankfully, we don't have to build burner inserters. Steam-powered inserters? The rotation speed is actually pretty nice, but my god. Steam powered burners. Why would steam powered inserters? Why would anybody ever want to use that? Even if you use it as kind of a backup on your steam power setup, I mean, it's not going to be able to regenerate itself, because if the entire thing does a brownout or a blackout, then there's going to be no steam for it to work on. It seems completely pointless. Fast inserters. It's probably more fuel efficient than just a simple burner inserter, and it's definitely a lot faster, but God, why would you ever use it? All right. So what do we should be able to just, all right, here's, this is beautiful, actually. We can just, that's what we can put on the other side of the belt we're sending up. So it'll be clay and bronze on this belt, which is beautiful. Alrighty. So, inserter, big inserter, stack inserter. So, regular inserter. We've made this a few times in the past. We need that. You need to be extended. Once again, I'm out of power poles. I really should just run over and just pick up a whole stack, because they do have a stack over here somewhere. And I could use long reach to get it if I could actually see what it is, what chest it's in. I have no idea what chest it's in. I know it's around here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, here it is. And 3. I have to take 3 full stacks, so I never run out again. And I think that's what we're going to do. Maybe next episode, maybe at the start of this episode, we're going to automate logistics bots, because this is just getting ridiculous. Once we get logistics bots, I can just say, this is what I want. And Bob's your uncle. So you pick up from there, and you drop there, and we are abusing the hell out of Bob's inserters to get everything working. Alright. You take steel gear wheels. You also take steel gear wheels. Steel gear wheels. No, we can't do that because the steel is not here. It's over here. Should be able to fit that there. Pick up tile. Pick up tile. Pick up tile. Steel gear wheels, please. Alright, both of those guys have got steel gear wheels. This guy also needs a double length inserter, and we've got no steel here. That's a bit of a problem. Alright, that one's good. That one's good as well, it just needs a little bit of time. Pick up from there. I might as well put these guys into chests as well. Just one. And we've already got these guys in the system, so we don't need them again. Alright. So steel is definitely dead. Well, actually it's not dead. We might just be using it a ton. Alright. So, let's get an upgrade planner from a regular red inserter. And we're just going to go straight to the fast bulk. So do that for these guys. Not going to bother for this. Are going to bother for this. And over here, yes, do it for that. Yes, do it for those. Doesn't need it for anything else. And over here, doesn't need it for anything. All right, beautiful. Now we go to blueprint. How do I do this again? You know what? I've never... Oh. I think I just did it. Okay, there we go. Done. And then station unload. Well, it's not showing my upgrade planner anymore. It is a bit tricky to do. Okay, save. Anyway. That's that. There's no inserters in anything else. Alright, Bob's your uncle. Let's have a quick look at steel. Okay, that looks pretty terrible. Okay, it looks a lot better over here. It's kind of okay. The iron coming through is kind of crap. We still got 3 of these guys going through, full speed, full gear ahead, full speed ahead, whatever it is. You're sorting pretty much full speed, you're sorting pretty much full speed, you're sorting pretty much full speed. I mean, there's no hold-ups. The stone is going out correctly, the slag is going out correctly, the copper is going out correctly. There's no hold-ups. It's just slow. So this is our maximum output. And it's just being used up. We're just tapping it too hard. What are we tapping it with? Batteries? Yeah. Who decided batteries needed steel? I do not know, but that person is not a nice person. And we're producing all of this stuff as well. I don't really want to upgrade steel. I mean, how could we even upgrade it? We're already sending 3 full belts of sapphirite ore directly into steel. And we're fully tapped this patch. So sapphirite is in trouble. So there's no way we can expand steel at the moment. We're just gonna, like this patch, we're gonna have to, it'll last, here's the thing, it'll last long enough, and then once we're gonna tap this 29 million, we're gonna put in 4 stations over here that take the sapphirite and put it on trains. And then at some point, I'm probably going to send a train station down here from the mega base, and it's going to be receiving sapphirite ore and then directly sending it into these. Once this thing runs out, which is not going to be too long. It looks like it's starting to get serious, but anyway. That should upgrade those inserters. Eventually they'll get upgraded. Eventually. It'll take a little while, but eventually they'll get upgraded. And that'll be good. Alright. So, I'd love to say, yeah, of course they take steel. The logistics robot. I mean, and they, look, construction robots just take copper wire. These guys take steel bearings. That's a whole other level of pain. Well, not really pain, but yeah. Look at all of this. We're up to over 1,500, but man, the steel. The steel. I mean, all right. Let's take a step backwards here. Steel, we're just doing the basics. We're producing steel ingots, molten steel, casting machine. I don't think there's a better way to actually make steel at this stage of the game. Alright. I need to get out of the map view, because sometimes recipes don't always show up in the map view. Okay, so we can make 4 steel plate from 4 molten steel. Okay, we can get double steel from using silicon ingots. Yeah, okay, maybe that's an option. And we can get from using manganese. I've got no idea even how to make manganese. Manganese Yeah, it requires actual manganese ore, which I'm not getting into that. It's how to get manganese ore. There you go. Crushed ferrous mixture, which is... Yeah, that's kind of annoying. That's all sorts of annoying. At that point, I'd probably just... I mean, it's not actually too bad. I mean, those three we could get. Then we get crushed ferrous mixture. And then we produce iron and manganese. That's actually interesting. That's a very interesting way of doing steel. Because you get... Alright, here's the thing. Because I never thought about using this for making steel. But maybe you could. Like crushed ferrous mixture. You get iron ore and manganese ore. You turn the iron ore into iron ingots at a 1-to-1 ratio. Or you could start to do processed iron shenanigans and get even more of them. But then it goes down to... It goes down a lot. It gets a quartered to get to steel ingots. And the manganese doesn't get quartered. It just stays the same. So then when you do this, you're going to end up with way too many manganese ingots. And what else do you do with manganese? I don't think there's any sort of actual recipe you could use it for. There's probably some other recipe you could use it for, manganese, but you would have to do something where you would you get a certain amount of... So this is sapphirite, givelite, and rubite to make this. Yeah, basically you make the iron ore and the manganese, but you'd have to ship in a bunch more iron ore in addition in order to make steel. So the station that makes manganese would have to make... Iron ore is almost a byproduct at that point, and then you're basically... you'd have to make iron ore a very high priority byproduct at that point. It's kind of okay. I think it would get you better steel. Let's return... Alright, let's return back to the idea of silicon. How much silicon do we have? 15k? I feel like if we started using silicon ingots to make steel, we would run out of silicon really freaking quickly. What is wrong with you? Okay, you're actually backed up on stone now. You're actually backed up on stone. Okay. We need to go fix that ASAP, because that's a lot of steel. That's not being made. I literally looked at it 2 minutes ago and it was fine, and now it's not fine. Now it is not fine. There is a way to get rid of that completely, isn't it? Were we doing it up here? My memory is so bad. Yeah. You crush the stone and you make mineralized water and you make it disappear. Maybe that's what we should add over here. Although I already turned it into stone, but for the crushed stone we can just get rid of it. Although, have I bought enough stuff to actually do that? You get a clarifier. Although, you know what? We've probably got too much being produced. So I think it is probably just landfill time, to be completely honest. It is just stick it in a chest and make landfill time. Stone brick and... Do I have one of these? No, I do not. Stealing steel off the belt in order to make a warehouse to make more steel. That is just ingenious. The good thing about landfill is it takes as much stone as you can throw at it. It really just does take a massive amount. If we have a warehouse full of landfill, it's going to be a very long time before you have to worry about it. The irony is, of course, that we generated this map without any water on it whatsoever. So landfill is going to be completely useless. But we can just blow it up. And technically we could blow up this warehouse as well with the stone in it, but yeah. How much is this? 19k? It's filling up decently, but it's not too bad. Let's get this guy right here. And make me some landfill, please. Yeah. So the definitely these inserters are the slow bit right here. We probably should have. I can't afford too many of these, but we'll get a few of these. So they're almost double. Almost double. Still not enough to keep this. How much do I actually need? Oh, of course I need more steel for that. That should be fine. That's enough to keep these inserters happy. Keep this going again. This belt is running again. And we should be putting out a bunch of steel again, which is very nice. How is this one doing? This one's doing pretty good. Yeah, we've basically destroyed every single bit of slag that we had. All the slag is gone. Do we want to keep some slag? I'm not sure. And this one is basically throwing it away. This one is... We may actually... Well, I mean, we're not going to run out of stone bricks because we got over 200k. I feel like I actually want to hook these guys up. Same as these. So it only puts out the slag when there's too much of it. Alrighty. So that's another crisis averted, and our struggle with steel continues to this day, but yeah, there's really not much we can do about steel for this starter base anyway. And I guess we're really like tapping this steel quite heavily. So we do need to do something about it. But I think maybe that's... Yeah, I mean, what do we really do about steel here? Because we need... I mean, we just... Basically what we do is we expand. Or what we could do is... Because, alright, so the next few episodes are going to be making... So we're going to make the actual ore over here. We're going to start to make ore using the actual proper components. So, well, maybe not next episode. Next episode, we're going to start on the... We're going to get the mineral catalyst done, and then we're going to set up these recipes, make crushed sapphirite, make the iron ore, like using a pure iron ore recipe. And we're going to do that for these 4. And then we can start to do iron and stuff like that. And we can make... Maybe that's what we could switch over for the steel. Because this... Alright, so this one is a 1-to-1 from iron ore to iron ingots. What you could do is processed iron ore, which halves it and then triples it, but it takes coke. Whew. You know what? That's actually a good argument for putting coke on a belt here. Making a coke station. Because, yeah, if we're going to be doing that, let's make a coke station here. And this is our coke, isn't it? Bloody oath. This is going to be a little. This is going to turn into a little bit of spaghetti, which is not great, but. Not great. I don't like the fact that I'm doing so much spaghetti here, but it's, you know what, it is what it is. Actually, no, you know what, we're not going to output priority that. How are we doing with this anyway? 40, so this guy has 5 trains worth, 0 and 5 trains worth. We are overloading this station. We're producing 3 different goods now, which is a fair bit. And I really don't want to get into the habit of my typical mega base behavior, which is basically, oh, I don't have enough, I'll just copy and paste that station. I really don't want to start doing that. This will help a lot when we actually fix up these inserters and we're actually filling up this belt. So what we'll probably end up doing in the future is we'll say, okay, we're going to upgrade these to Ore Crusher 2s, upgrade everything to red belts, and then the station becomes twice as good. Is going to be one of the main things we do. Well, anyway, we fixed up steel again, so hopefully that will fix up a lot of stuff, although half of the steel is just going to batteries. That's ridiculous. And we've still got 600 accumulators. We're getting a lot of accumulators though. We haven't actually looked at power in a while. Okay, so a while ago, like half an hour ago, we were still, you can see the steam engines switch on and then they switch off, and they switch on and they switch off. But for the last little while, the last half an hour, we haven't needed the steam engines. We've just been using accumulators and it's fine. Probably because have our robots really finished too much? Not really. They need to finish these stations at the end so those radars can get on and actually start doing stuff. But anyway, we're kind of, I know I said I wanted to do logistics robots this episode, but like at the end of this episode, but that's going to tap our steel even harder, and I really don't want to tap our steel any more than we're currently doing it. Alright, so we're definitely producing too much purified water here, which is fine. These guys aren't running at all, which is fine. We're producing some sulfuric acid. Very nice. And yeah. So we can definitely say that this station is a success. Was that yellow? The purified water, really? Oh, well, we're not. We need to get this bloody other thing going. So it does 320. That's why these guys are sometimes being held up, but that will definitely improve our production. And then yeah, we can call this station a success as well. And then in the next episode, I think we're just going to do mineral catalyst, and we're going to start to tap some of these ores and start to put them into stations. You know what? It's 6 minutes to the end of the episode. I really don't feel like doing anything else. I just don't. I feel like just watching the base, watching these robots go off, taking all of the rails and using up so much steel. My God. Once we finish off these guys, once we finish off these accumulators, then our steel demand will go down by a fair amount. We could start producing less accumulators at the moment, just sort of shut off, but I feel like I'll let it go. I'll let it continue to build, and once they finish, then we should be back to normal. And I mean, next episode, we won't require too much steel. We're just using regular mining drills, which don't require steel, regular belts, which don't require steel. So we can spend, even if we start getting strapped on steel for a lot of stuff, we can just sort of start tapping these mineral patches. Getting very close to this one, actually. It's not my intention. We can start tapping these big mineral patches. We can start setting up the stations for all of them. And that can be, and then the mineral catalyst stuff. And we'll just let the steel run in the background. Let those inserters, those bulk inserters slowly get pushed up. Or double check the steel to make sure that it's all good, it's all fine. These guys are running full. 3 belts, 45 sapphirite ore per second going entirely to steel. Getting the copper all going off. And how is our copper looking? 127, 40, 119. It's a little bit thick. That's quite a lot. This one's almost done. Even though we're using technically a lot. Well, actually, this is all backed up, but we did set off a second belt of copper up there purely for green circuits. But even then, we're still not using enough. The steel is just too much. But yeah, as we said, when we make the mega base, we could just take the sapphirite ore train, send it around here. We can even reuse. I was about to say, you know what? You know what we're going to do? We're going to delete this. I don't like this anymore. I put a station here for rubite. This is the station for rubite. And I don't like it anymore. This is what we're going to do at the end of the episode. I'll put a basic there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a straight rail down here. And another straight rail down here. And then we're going to do a T-in section off here. And then a station off here. And then we've got a nice route we could move over later to start loading these in. We'll probably keep these smelting arrays. Maybe we'll start... Here's the thing. When we just have ore, we can start routing the ore directly in here. And then once we've got iron plates in the mega base and steel plates and all that sort of stuff, we can route those into the station instead, send them directly off a train station here, and then we can start ripping all this crap up. And yeah, pretty much doing that is going to be awesome. Oh, and what we can actually do, let's do this. This will be a very nice way to finish off the episode. We do a red wire, and then we do a green wire. And look at that. This is the reason why I put all that circuit logic over here, because you can actually look at this display, and you can see how good it is. So, direct your attention to the right-hand side of the screen. We got F and C, which is our fluid wagon amount and our cargo wagon amount. And then we've got a 4 against sulfur dioxide, which means there is a station requesting 4 trainloads of sulfur dioxide, which is not being fulfilled. And then on green, that's the amount of available goods that we have. So we've got 12 trains worth of coal, 10 trains worth of carbon, 10 trains worth of sulfuric wastewater, and 5 trains worth of sulfuric acid. And we can tell all of that based on just looking at this power pole. That's how awesome the system is. And later on, we're going to have this little display where we're going to have like a, I don't know, one of these probably. And it's going to have something like this, like sapphirite ore. We actually want it to be displayed. I'm not sure how do we get it displayed. We need some way of displaying it so we can actually visually see it. And then we're going to have a bunch of lights on either side. And there's going to be green lights for the green signal. There's going to be red lights for the red signal. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. So you'll be able to look at it and you'll be able to see, okay, for sulfuric wastewater, there's going to be 10 green lights on the right. There's going to be 0 red lights on the left. They're not going to be lit up. And you're going to be able to look at that and say, okay, that's awesome. And you're just going to be able to look at this page and see dozens of items up here, all with their own lighting scale, and you'll instantly be able to see, okay, this one good is red, this one good is in trouble, that sort of thing. But I need to figure out how to display this. Is there a way to display? I'm pretty sure there's a way to display it. I could have thought the constant combinator could show it. Ah, display panel. That's what it is. Go away, wood. Display panel. Okay. Yeah. Then you can display it. You can also display it on the map and do all sorts of weird stuff. But that's it. That's all we need. That and then a bunch of lights surrounding it. And it's going to be awesome. And we're going to do that somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where, but somewhere where there's a nice bit of space so we could do, because we may end up with, we'll at least have dozens, we may end up with hundreds, I'm not sure exactly, but for now, the infrastructure is all there, and we've got these beautiful radars that just send signals all over the place. It is beautiful, it is fantastic, and it is all good. So anyway, that's going to be the end of the episode. Please, how's our steel doing? Still crap. Still crap. We're sending a bit through and it's probably all just being eaten up by hydro plants. No, hydro plant Mark IIs. Which take 48 steel pipes. My God, we have created a monster. Alright, we're going to leave it there. Steel, maybe we'll prioritize steel in the mega base. Although it's a very complicated product, so I kind of don't want to. But anyway, I think we're done here. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this stream, and I will catch you guys next week. Stay tuned.